with another little movie review today, and we're looking at an Amazon original today that's just been released as I'm recording this in the towards the end of August, and the film is called Chemical Hearts. Please, if you're new to the channel, please push that all subscribe button and push the bell notifications so you know when these little movie reviews, I do TV drama reviews and information vlogs as well, are coming out. That would be absolutely fantastic. Yep, Chemical Hearts, an Amazon original. A 15 rating, so it's a romantic coming of age drama, obviously with a bit of an edge to get a 15 rating. An hour and 33 minutes. It's written, produced and directed. I mean, I think he made the tea as well, by Richard Tanner, or Tan, T-A-N-N-E, however you pronounce that. And it's based on the novel Our Chemical Hearts by Crystal Sutherland. It's the story of Henry Page, played by Austin Abrams, a teenage student who considers himself a hopeless romantic but has never fallen in love. The young man aspires to be editor of the high school newspaper and lives happily focused on his studies to enter a good university. Until Gracetown, played by Lili Reinhart, enters his class. His new partner, he's not the girl of his dreams, but little by little he falls in love with her when the two teenagers are chosen to edit the Institute newspaper. So, yeah, scenario familiar, isn't it, in different ways. Is it any good? Well, Rotten Tomatoes weren't overly impressed with it. It's got a 55% positivity rating, and that's overall an average score of 5.58 out of 10, which isn't fantastic. And it's received 56 critics reviews, 31 fresh and 25 rotten, so again not great. But the audience disagree, the audience liked it. The audience have got an 85% positivity rating based on 123 reviews, so that's quite good. The Metacritics, they're a mixed bag as well. The Metacritics, some like it, some don't. That scores anywhere between 4 out of 10 and 7.5 out of 10. Very, very mixed. One of the low scores is from The Guardian's Peter Bradshaw. He only gave it 4 out of 10. He went on to say, this elaborately contrived story feels as though it has been cobbled together from a dozen others, and it never escapes cliche. San Francisco, he's a footballer. There you go. San Francisco Chronicle, G. Alan Johnson, gave it 7.5 out of 10. He was a bit kinder. And he went on to say, what makes Chemical Hearts so good is it's unafraid of its feelings. It tackles complicated emotional issues such as depression, suicide, sex and love with a straightforward honesty. For once, a film about young people is completely free of sarcasm and irony. I used the word sarcasm there because they used something else and I had to find out what it meant, so I stuck sarcasm in its place. Internet Movie Database user rating, you and me, Joe Public, 6.4 out of 10, so that's not a total disaster. That's based on that's 1179 reviews, so that's quite a healthy score for that many reviews. And to be honest with you, the users are as mixed as the critics on the praise or lack of for this film. But I did the praise was in the majority on the people who actually wrote reviews on it. There was very few criticisms, to be honest with you. One of the people who wrote on it, Sahil Mopka, on the 21st of August 2020, wrote, this was unusually heartwarming, gave it 9 out of 10. He said, it avoids, I assume it's a he, could be a she, my apologies, it avoids the typical teenage romance genre cliches and instead focuses on character development and how relationships at a young age shape individuals into who they become as they grow older. Great soundtrack and performances by the lead pair, so that was quite positive. But yeah, Alex Pitt only give it 4 out of 10 on the 21st of August 2020. He went on to say, I wanted to like Chemical Hearts because I enjoy the actors involved and the story sounded engrossing, but it ended up being one of the biggest disappointments of 2020 so far. There was little to enjoy about the story, and I spent most of the runtime completely bored. Alex, well, there you go. I think you might have fallen asleep there, mate. And just before we finish off, just a middle of the road one, a 6 out of 10 score from Joe Blow Movie Critic on the 21st of August 2020. That was the day of its release, I think. He gave it 6 out of 10. Promising young adult novel adaptation, explores lots of worthy themes but never manages to truly lift off the ground. So give it 6 out of 10. It wasn't too bad, but not the most gushing of reviews, was it? Right, my little thoughts, MGN's critique and thoughts for your delectation. Yeah, there's a lot of love out there. I'm looking at the reviews for Lili Reinhart, and justifiably so. She's absolutely wonderful in this. She plays a great part of it. Obviously, a troubled girl. I know you'll find this very hard to believe looking at me, but it's a long time since I've been a teenager. I know that was very hard to believe if you look at the images now, but I could still relate to what was going on the screen. You know, I've sort of. You know, it sort of still resonated with me even now. Austin Abrams, who plays the co-lead, obviously, in this, he plays a good role. I mean, he's a teenage lad with lots of things to say. Perhaps feels a little bit on the periphery at high school. Not exactly on the geek table at dinner time, but he's on the way to that. And let's face it, he will obviously fall in love with the first girl to show interest. Sadly, he falls for a girl with deep psychological problems, and his inexperience is obvious. And he plays it really well, because you do feel sorry for him as he's going through it. You know, you do want to sort of have a word with him and guide him. Perhaps his parents could have done that a little bit better, but obviously I'd hope to think if it was my son or my grandson, I probably could have helped him out with this young lady and tell him a few things, obviously knowing with the knowledge of the young lady, obviously, and would have helped him cope a little bit better than he perhaps did in this film. But there you go, that's just part of the film. One or two reviewers claimed there was no real chemistry between the two leads. I felt that was totally wrong. I thought there absolutely was chemistry. You could see it grow, and you could obviously understand it from the girl's point of view and the boy's point of view. Obviously, probably coming at it from total opposite sides, but obviously you could see that chemistry. So I don't agree with that. And as a coming of age teenage romantic comedy, I mean, they very rarely cover this sort of gritty background story to it. So I think they did really well, and yeah, I think there was a lot of chemistry there. Not always for the right reasons, but there was chemistry between the two, in my opinion. It was a good watch. It was painful at times, of course. With a tinge of regret in it, but ultimately, as you expect from these coming-of-age dramas, it was uplifting. It was uplifting, which is nice. Had its faults, but obviously the two leads, if you can, as I say, I like characters you can invest in, and even though the two leads are totally different, coming from totally different directions, as I said, totally different personalities, really, it is believable. It is believable they could get together in the way they did, and the way it panned out, but the two leads sort of kept you invested all throughout the film, to be honest with you. Let's face it, it's a film. I think it's a film for teenagers, and those at one time who have been teenagers in our lives, which is obviously old farts like me. And let's face it, still in our hearts from time to time, we're still our teenagers now. Certainly us guys. I don't know about you ladies. Certainly us guys, we're just like big kids anyway. But so no matter what our age, there's still a little bit of that teenage inside us all, and it's nice to think that there is. Yeah, it's a good watch. I enjoyed this. I did enjoy it. I can understand people not enjoying it. I can understand people being a little bit bored with it, but I was totally invested in it. I was invested in the characters, and as I say, the two leads make it. I mean, the other actors in it, yeah, there's a little bit of couple of little very tiny subplots, but basically it's just the two leads that it's all about. My movie game nostalgia rating, well, I'm going to go mad. I'm going to give it a really healthy 7 out of 10, which is quite high for me. If you watch my reviews, I very rarely give things more than a 6.5, and a 7 out of 10 is quite good. Yeah, I liked it, so I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It made me sad and it made me happy, so I'll give it that. And it made me remember things as well, which is even better, isn't it? Not always in a good way, unfortunately, but there you go. The poster, no, I mean, the poster's quite bland, is it? Quite boring. It is what it is. It is, I suppose it is what it says on the tin as far as the film's concerned to some extent, but I'm only going to give the poster 5 out of 10. There's not much effort gone into that one, is there? I mean, so the film, MGen rating for the movie, 7 out of 10, for the poster, 5 out of 10. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Please let me know in the comments what you think if you get to watch this film, if you agree with me that it's nice to remember. Say, even at my age, at 61, I can still remember being a teenager, and still things resonate with me now when I watch these sort of films. Anyway, please check my links on screen. If you can get a look at my little website, movieGameNostalgia.com. Absolutely fantastic. Old rare DVDs, movie posters from the 90s and 2000s, some board games on there as well. So you can have a look through there, or even have a wander on it. It helps me out because of Google Analytics and search engine figures and this sort of thing. So even if you can just have a quick look for a couple of minutes, absolutely fantastic. Thanks very much. Right, hopefully you can join me again for another little movie review or a TV drama review or an information vlog in the very near future. Please, until then, look after yourself, look after your friends, look after your family. More important, let's all look after each other. And please, everybody, stay safe. This is Bernard saying goodbye for now. See you all soon. Bye-bye.